communities worldwide. We broadcast diverse international content from Europe, Asia, Africa, and now right here in the USA. Watch us via Roku on your smart TV. Submit your own content to 1530entertainmentllc@gmail.com. Download the Millennium TV app from the App Store to stream our shows anywhere, anytime. Millennium TV.
Hello and welcome to Millennium News TV 24/7 Global News Update. My name is Todd David Goldfinger, and here are today's top stories, just for you. Thanks for being here. A decision by a federal judge in Florida to throw out a national mask mandate for public transportation across the U.S. created a confusing patchwork of rules for passengers as they navigate airports and transit systems. The ruling gives airports, mass transit systems, airlines, and ride-hailing services the option to keep mask rules or ditch them entirely, resulting in rules that vary by city and mode of transportation. Passengers on a United Airlines flight from Houston to Kennedy Airport, for instance, could ditch their masks at their departing airport and on the plane, but have to put them back on once they land in New York or take a subway. Next news. A federal judge's decision to strike down a national mask mandate was met with cheers on some airplanes, but also concern about whether it's really time to end one of the most visible vestiges of the COVID-19 pandemic. The major airlines and many of the busiest airports rushed to drop their requirements on Monday after the Transportation Security Administration announced it would enforce a January 2021 security directive that applied to airplanes, airports, taxis, and other mass transit. But the ruling still gave those entities the option to keep their mask rules in place, resulting in directives that could vary from city to city. Next news. Federal authorities on Monday said they will not criminally charge Jason Van Dyke, the Chicago police officer convicted of murder in the 2014 shooting death of Black teenager Laquan McDonald. The U.S. Attorney's Office in Chicago said in a news release that the decision was made after consulting with the McDonald family and that the, in quotes, family was in agreement not to pursue a second prosecution, end quotes. According to the release, prosecuting Van Dyke on federal charges would have been much more difficult than it was to prosecute him in state court because the burden of proof is far higher. Next news. Global finance leaders are putting the growing crisis over food insecurity and skyrocketing food prices at center stage as members of the International Monetary Fund and the World Bank meet in Washington and grapple with the brutal effects of Russia's war against Ukraine. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen was convening a Tuesday morning meeting with leaders from the IMF, World Bank, Group of 7, and Group of 20 global organizations to, in quotes, call on international financial institutions to accelerate and deepen their response, end quotes, to countries affected by food issues exacerbated by Russia's aggression, the Treasury Department said. We're going to take a short break from the daily global English news of Millennium News TV 24/7. Please stay with us. Thank you.
Millennium TV, bridging communities worldwide. We broadcast diverse international content from Europe, Asia, Africa, and now right here in the USA. Watch us via Roku on your smart TV. Submit your own content to 1530entertainmentllc@gmail.com. Download the Millennium TV app from the App Store to stream our shows anywhere, anytime. Millennium TV.
Hello and welcome back to Millennium News TV 24/7 Global News Update. Here's the continuation of today's top stories. Thank you for being with us. The Biden administration announced Monday it is barring anti-satellite missile testing by the United States, a move that White House officials say is meant to underscore its hopes of establishing new norms for military action in space. The U.S. has sharply criticized Russia and China for conducting anti-satellite missile tests, although it also used an interceptor missile fired from a U.S. Navy warship more than 14 years ago to destroy a malfunctioning spy satellite. The issue is one that's taken on greater urgency after Russia in November launched a missile to destroy a defunct Soviet-era satellite. Vice President Kamala Harris, in a speech at Vandenberg Space Force Base on the central coast of California to highlight the administration's move, criticized the Russian action as, in quotes, reckless and irresponsible. Next news, please. Russian forces attacked along a broad front in eastern Ukraine on Tuesday as part of a full-scale ground offensive to take control of the country's eastern industrial heartland in what Ukrainian officials called, in quotes, a new phase of the war, end quotes. Ukraine's general staff said Russian forces are focusing their efforts on taking full control of the Donbas region, in quotes. The occupiers made an attempt to break through our defenses along nearly the entire front line, end quotes, the general staff said in a statement early Tuesday. The stepped assaults began Monday along a front of more than 300 miles, 480 kilometers, focused on the Donbas regions of Donetsk and Luhansk, with the Russian forces trying to advance in several sections, including from the neighboring Kharkiv region. Next news. During its 1979 Islamic Revolution, Iran embraced the protest cry of, in quotes, neither East nor West, end quotes, rejecting both the US and the Soviet Union, then locked in the Cold War. The phrase to this day hangs over the doors of Iran's foreign ministry. Russia's war on Ukraine, however, has exposed just how much Tehran has tilted toward Moscow in recent years, as the collapse of its nuclear deal with world powers stoked decades-old hard-line anger at America. Members of Iran's paramilitary Revolutionary Guard train on Russian surface-to-air missile systems and aircraft. Hardline President Ibrahim Raisi visited Russian President Vladimir Putin on one of his first trips abroad. Next news. Voters in East Timor chose a president in a runoff Tuesday between former independence fighters who've blamed each other for years of political paralysis. Nobel Peace Prize laureate Jose Ramos Horta had a commanding lead in the election's first round, but failed to exceed 50% of the votes and avoid the runoff. Ramos Horta received 46.6%. Incumbent President Francisco Luolo Guterres won 22.1%. And 14 other candidates split the rest of the votes in the March 19th election. Ramos Horta, 72 years old, and Guterres, 67, were resistance figures during Indonesia's occupation of East Timor. More than 76% of the votes last month went to resistance-era figures, showing how much they dominate politics after 2 decades despite younger voices emerging. We're going to take a short break from the daily global English news of Millennium News TV 24/7. Please stay with us. Thank you.
Millennium TV, bridging communities worldwide. We broadcast diverse international content from Europe, Asia, Africa, and now right here in the USA. Watch us via Roku on your smart TV. Submit your own content to 1530entertainmentllc@gmail.com. Download the Millennium TV app from the App Store to stream our shows anywhere, anytime. Millennium TV.
Hello and welcome back to Millennium News TV 24/7 Global News Update. Here's the continuation of today's top stories. Thank you for being with us. Prime Minister Boris Johnson is facing British lawmakers on Tuesday for the first time since he was fined by police for attending a birthday party in his office that broke coronavirus lockdown rules. As the House of Commons returns from an 11-day Easter break, Johnson is expected to apologize for what he insists was a minor slip-up, but rebuff opposition calls to resign for flouting the restrictions that he imposed on the country during the pandemic. Boris Johnson and his allies argue that it would be wrong to change leaders while Britain faces crises, including the war in Ukraine and a cost of living squeeze driven by surging energy and goods prices. Next news. Hermann Nitsch, an Austrian avant-garde artist known, among other things, for works in which he used blood and animal entrails, has died. He was 83 years old. Nitsch's wife, Rita Nitsch, told the Austria press agency on Tuesday that Nitsch died at a hospital in the Austrian town of Mist on Monday after a serious illness. Nitsch, born in Vienna on August 29th, 1938, was versatile, with performance art, painting, sculpting, and composing among his activities. He was a co-founder of Viennese Actionism and best known for his theater of orgies and mysteries, conceived as a visceral synthesis of the arts, which peaked with a 6-day play in 1998, featuring 13,000 liters, that's more than 3,400 gallons of wine, hundreds of liters of blood, kilogram of grapes and tomatoes, several animal carcasses, and musical accompaniment. Next news. The cabinet of Pakistan's newly elected Prime Minister, Shahbaz Sharif, was sworn in Tuesday during a brief ceremony. Acting President Sadiq Sanjrani administered the oath to the 34 ministers at the White Marble Palace, known as the Presidency in the capital, Islamabad. Sharif also attended the ceremony. His election, April 11th, ousted former Prime Minister Imran Khan. Sharif's former political rivals are also part of his coalition government. The portfolios for the ministers are expected to be announced later Tuesday. Among prominent lawmakers who were inducted into the cabinet is Khawaja Mohammad Asif, a former defense minister and a member of the Pakistan Muslim League Party. Several politicians from the party of former President Asif Ali Zardari are also part of the cabinet, including Khurshid Shah and Sherry Rehman. Thank you. Next news. Browse any medical dictionary, and before hitting appendectomy and anesthesia, you'll find abortion. The first two procedures are part of a standard physician education. Pardon me. But for many U.S. medical school students and residents who want to learn about abortions, options are scarce. And new restrictions are piling up. Within the past year, bills or laws seeking to limit abortion education have been proposed or enacted in at least 8 states. The changes are coming from abortion opponents, emboldened by new limits on the procedure itself, as well as pending Supreme Court decision that could upend the landmark Roe versus Wade decision legalizing abortion. In quotes. It's quite terrifying what's going on, end quotes, said Ian Peake, a third-year medical student in Oklahoma, where the governor on April 12th signed a measure outlawing most abortions. We're going to take a short break from the Daily Global English News of Millennium News TV 24/7. Please stay with us. Thank you.
Millennium TV, bridging communities worldwide. We broadcast diverse international content from Europe, Asia, Africa, and now right here in the USA. Watch us via Roku on your smart TV. Submit your own content to 1530entertainmentllc@gmail.com. Download the Millennium TV app from the App Store to stream our shows anywhere, anytime. Millennium TV.
Hello and welcome back to Millennium News TV 24/7 Global News Update. Here's the continuation of today's top stories. Thanks for being with us. Japan's health ministry on Tuesday formally approved Novavax's COVID-19 vaccine, a fourth foreign-developed tool to combat the infections as the country sees signs of a resurgence led by a subvariant of a fast-spreading Omicron. The ministry approval comes the day after its experts panel endorsed use of Novavax's protein vaccine, which is designed with similar technology used to fight diseases such as the flu and hepatitis B, for the first 2 shots and a booster. Health Minister Shigeyuki Goto told reporters that Novavax products adds variety to the choices available and could appeal to those who are hesitant to use COVID-19 vaccines such as Pfizer's and Moderna's, which are designed with newer technologies. Next news. Next news. Talking trash about the Kardashians is a common pastime for many ordinary Americans. On Monday, a few got to do it to their faces. Kim Kardashian, her mother, Kris Jenner, and her sisters, Khloe Kardashian and Kylie Jenner, all sat in the front row of a Los Angeles courtroom as prospective jurors aired their feelings about the famous family and the four women, all defendants in a lawsuit brought by Rob Kardashian's former fiancée, Blac Chyna. In quotes, anything that has to do with their names is just a big no for me, end quotes, one man said. In quotes, I don't think reality TV is good for society, end quotes. Next news. Next news. Time always flew in J.K. Rowling's wizarding, I gotta get this right, wizarding world, but it has lately seemed to catch up to the Potter pop cultural sensation. Those long lines outside bookstores are a long time ago now. The books stopped, but the movies never stopped. The Fantastic Beasts prequels, now up to 3 with the Secrets of Dumbledore, in quotes, that was, have soldiered on, even if the fever surrounding Pottermania, at least among less diehard muggles, has dissipated. There's always been a sense of dislocation about the Fantastic Beasts movies. The Potter films, boarding school movies with magic thrown in, swirled around life at Hogwarts. But where is the heart of Fantastic Beasts? Question mark. The prequels have a foot in 1920s and 1930s New York, with World War storm clouds all around. But they flitter anxiously between fantasy realms far and wide. Next news. Stephen Curry drove to the basket with fervor and knocked down a three-pointer while falling to the ground, getting fouled to convert a key 4-point play, exhibiting all the signs he's his healthy former self at last. And the raucous home crowd loved every minute of number 30's galloping, grinning, body-shaking show. Curry came off the bench for a second straight game following a month-long absence with a foot injury, scoring 34 points to lead the Golden State Warriors past the Denver Nuggets, 126 to 106 points on Monday night for a 2-0 lead in their best of 7 playoff series. Thank you. Next news. Jalen Brunson, Maxi Kleber, and the Dallas Mavericks got even in their first round playoff series with a bunch of three-pointers, with their fewest turnovers ever in a postseason game. And without injured superstar Luka Doncic. Brunson scored a career-high 41 points. Maxi Kleber had 25 with 8 of their playoff record 22 made three-pointers, and the Mavericks, with only 3 turnovers, beat the Utah Jazz 110 to 104 points in Game 2 on Monday night. In danger of dropping the first 2 games after opening the playoffs with home court advantage for the first time since their NBA title 11 years ago. The Mavericks even overcame a 10-point deficit after halftime. Great job, guys. Next news. Tuesday's schedule will feature 2 doubleheaders. The first in the majors this season and the first Twin Bills of 9-inning games since September 28, 2019. Major League Baseball used 7-inning doubleheaders in 2020 and 2021 amid rules changes brought on by the coronavirus pandemic, but did away with the shortened games for this season. There were 31 scheduled doubleheaders on the calendar when the lockout-delayed season began. But these first 2 Twin Bills were added because of weather. Arizona's game at Washington and San Francisco's game at the New York Mets were postponed Monday because of rain. Thank you for watching. This has been Daily Global News Update of Millennium News TV 24/7. Please log in to get the latest news, views, and editorials on all of our social networking sites. That means Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and even TikTok. On TikTok, we are Millennium News 24. Also, on YouTube, our YouTube channel is News Channel M24. Please check it out. Viewers, now on both network broadcasting, Android and iOS devices, Apple TV, Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV. Also, all smart TV platforms. Please enjoy our entertainment, latest news, views, and editorials on our Millennium TV apps, Millennium TV USA Android, Millennium News Google. Google us, www.millenniumtv24.com. Look us up on the web. Please stay with Millennium News 24. Thank you, and God bless us all, and peace. Thank you.